Well, 2018 is coming to a close, guys. Huh. Well, so far for me, this has been a good year for movies, and I really can't wait to see what's coming out in 2019. So, for my first video before 2019 comes, I just really wanted to talk about this movie. During the weekend, I saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with my brother, and we both love it. And honestly, this might be the best superhero movie I have ever seen. And the reason why I think this is the best one so far, I mean, it might be my favorite movie of this year. I'm serious, guys. It's that good. The Because it gives us a story that we haven't seen before, even though we've seen like multiple Spider-Man movies that almost like they have the same story, but this one's different because the main character is Miles Morales, who hasn't been getting much more attention as he should have since the one Spider-Man that we all know and love is Peter Parker. But even though he is in the movie twice, and as for the story, well, like I said, it involves Miles Morales, who is a middle school student just trying to struggle through everyday life until he is bitten by a radioactive spider, and of course, you know what that means. And um, while all that's happening, Kingpin is uh, working on some collider that can like open up a portal to a parallel universe, while several other Spider-Men and women appear in Miles' universe. So they all had to team up to fight Kingpin and return to their universes. I really love this movie, guys. It's not only is this the best comic book movie of 2018, it is the best movie of 2018 for my opinion. And the animation is some of the best that I've ever seen, and it's definitely the best animated movie of the year. The only thing that can give it a run for its money is Incredibles 2. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. As for the characters, I loved Miles Morales. Peter Parker, this is a much different version of Peter Parker that we've seen. Because this is the kind of guy who's done. He doesn't want to like be Spider-Man anymore because of all the shit that he's been through, and I mean, it's quite understandable. And Gwen Stacy, I really loved her. She was really good, and she has really good chemistry with everybody, especially when it comes to her and Miles. Um, but when it particularly comes to Miles, he's a really likable character. I mean, especially as much as likable as Peter Parker, because I mean, he's a flawed. I mean, he's almost like a flawed character. I mean, almost as flawed as Peter Parker. I mean, because he's just a kid with everyday problems, and he's trying to make a difference. He wants to help people. I mean, and the Peter Parker who comes over to his universe, he's like, nope. I mean, this is not my problem. But I mean, of course, he's forced to like help Miles because I mean they all had to head back home, or else, well, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet. Um, the other characters were pretty fun, especially Spider Ham. He was hilarious. Spider Man Noir. I did at first. I was like, is that Nicolas Cage voicing Spider Man Noir? But I was like, yep. And that was a bit of a weird casting choice, to be honest. But still, I mean, I loved it. I thought that was very well handled. As for the villains, I liked Kingpin. Even though he looks like a big square with a face, and he's all bulked up and everything. The Green Goblin has a cameo, but two of the main villains are like Kingpin and Doc Ock. And some of the other villains, I mean, I already mentioned Green Goblin. Scorpion also appears, and there's also Tombstone. Uh, and that's pretty much where it ends for villains. I mean, there's also Prowler. Um, well, I mean, if any of you haven't like read the comics, or I mean, Prowler is Miles Morales' uncle. I mean, that would be considered a spoiler, but I don't think it would if any of you. I mean, if anybody has read the comics. Um, as for the animation in this movie, like I said, it's amazing. It's like a comic book come to life. This is probably the best. I mean, this is probably the most comic booky Spider-Man movie I've seen, and it's probably the best superhero animated movie since Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. The I I just love this movie, and um, I'm I honestly don't know what else to say. I enjoyed this. It's my favorite movie of the year, and I highly recommend seeing this. And I kind of feel like seeing it again, honestly. And since then, I have never wanted a sequel more for a Spider-Man movie. Since uh, I mean, when I first watched Spider-Man that came out back in 2002. I lost my mind. I was like 4 years old when the first Spider-Man came out, and when I was 5 years old and I saw a preview for Spider-Man 2, I lost my mind, and I begged and begged and begged my parents to take me to see Spider-Man 2. And and when Spider-Man 3 came out, I'm like, what? Yeah, Sony has like had their ups and downs with Spider-Man. I mean, particularly with Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man, it was okay. I didn't hate it, but it was okay. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, they made the same mistakes as Spider-Man 3 did. Homecoming, I love Homecoming. And Venom, it was okay, but this movie, I highly recommend that you I highly recommend that you see this if you are a fan of Spider-Man. And this is the best Spider-Man since Spider-Man 2. And I like I said, guys, I love this movie. I mean, if you want a good superhero movie, go see Into the Spider-Verse as soon as you can. And of course, without a doubt, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse gets an A plus. This has been so much fun, guys. And in a couple more minutes, I'll be doing my top 10 films of 2018. So that will be a whole lot of fun. A few of them will be movies that I haven't reviewed since I haven't had enough time to like review movies, even though I really do want to. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. You were the best. And until next time, if you want news on the latest movies, you know where to find me.